Welcome to the Artist 2.0 podcast. Artist 2.0 podcast. Right. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Artist 2.0 podcast. Today my guest is Angelasolo, and we're going to be talking to her about her crowdfunding project. This is kind of a new series in the Artist 2.0 podcast that I'm getting started with because I started my own crowdfunding project, and I think it's really interesting and not a lot of information out there for other artists who are working on personal projects that they need to get funded. And I found Angela's on GoFundMe, and her project was actually interesting. It intrigued me because it's been up for so long. And it actually encouraged me because I think one of the things that might be a little bit disappointing is trying to get that money coming in. But I saw that yours has been up for a while, yeah, and you've been making progress slowly on getting it going. And I thought that was really interesting because I haven't really seen projects that have been going for so long.
Yeah, I find most people, they expect to get a huge amount of money right away.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they get discouraged,
exactly,
and then they quit. But it kind of happened that way with me. I started the GoFundMe page in February of 2014, so it's been a while. But the first month I made probably about $5,000.
Okay.
So it gave me a very false sense of how these things work.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I'm going to get $20,000, I'm going to make this great album. But then, of course, like, you get through all your friends and your fans, and then it peters out of it, but I haven't given up.
So what's your goal amount that you're trying to get for your project?
It's 8,000.
8,000.
And I'm a couple hundred away from 7.
Okay.
So I'm very close.
So let's tell everyone what your project is. You're a musician,
Yes.
and you're trying to fund your first, or?
It's my second album,
Okay.
but it's my first solo, independently produced, that I wrote everything, I organized everything, so it's been quite a challenge. So if anyone out there is doing their own thing by themselves, you can do it. It just might take longer than having a band full of 5 people to help with financing and all that stuff. But
yeah, patience is the key.
Yeah.
So tell us about this album. Was it complete before you started? Did you have the songs and everything in mind, or have you been kind of developing it as the funds have been coming in?
I've actually been trying to record this album for 5 years now.
Oh, wow.
And I was in the studio, I think it was around 2009, 2010. And I had made it past all the tracking, so all the actual recording was completed, and then the studio got broken into and robbed.
Oh,
so
no.
Everything was stolen. My masters were gone, the engineer's equipment, all of his stuff, his instruments were stolen. So then I had to start at square one, and with that album on top of it, I want it to be a very inclusive album, so I'd got all my friends from, Montreal, Brooklyn, like New York, well, different areas of New York, also California. People flew in to do certain songs.
Oh, wow.
And I had a specific song for
Yeah,
each
yeah.
musician, and I paid them to do it. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, they're not going to come back a second time.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, I tried again after, swallowing my pride and being like, okay.
And crying a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of tears, a lot of wine and beer,
The artist's best friend.
Yeah, right. And then I tried again, and it was with a friend of a friend, and he said he'd do it for free, but as long as I promote a studio.
Mm-hmm.
And then things got weird, so I lost my masters there.
Oh, man.
So at a certain point, I just swallowed my pride, and I was like, I'm not very good at asking for help, so me creating a fund sourcing page or crowdsourcing page was really hard. But I said, you know what, I've been trying to do this for 5 years. The tunes are good, I'm doing it. And it took me about 4 days to write the GoFundMe page, just because, one, I don't want to sound like a dick.
Yeah.
Like, give me your money. But I finally put it out there, and the first day I think I got $1,000.
Wow. Because I mean, you bring up a good point, because I think, as artists, we are kind of like really individual and kind of almost a hermit. We have a tendency to be. So it is hard to ask for help, and outside of maybe a collaboration or something like that. For me, that was a huge hurdle too, just putting it up there. It's like, who's gonna freaking invest in this? And there's kind of an ego hit too. If nobody invests, like, oh, is my project sucky? I'm not a good artist, and all of that. And you're kind of putting yourself out there to be judged before you even have, a finished project. So it's definitely a hurdle to get over.
And not even in an enjoyment way. So if you have fans, they like your music, that's one thing. But then it's your failure is being monetized. So you're like, okay, there's 2 levels of me feeling bad right now.
Exactly. It's a double-edged sword because artists, like, we need money, but at the same time, we're afraid to be judged by it, you know, and it's definitely a hurdle to get over. So why did you choose the GoFundMe as opposed to another crowdsourcing site?
I chose GoFundMe. I like their, I guess their value system a little bit better. The percentage they take is lower, and they give you a lot more options. I don't have an end date.
Yeah.
So I can just keep fundraising until I hit my mark. I can go over my mark. There's a lot more flexibility in the campaign itself. So
yeah,
I was like, okay, I like these guys. They take less money and they're cool. They do a lot of stuff for like people's houses that have burned down, or hurricane survivors that are trying to fund money for like really good causes, cancer research, stuff like that. Whereas I found Kickstarter was a little more commercial.
Yeah, it's become more product based, although I don't think that's what Kickstarter started out to be, but now it's kind of like just pre-marketing products and seeing if there's a market for it. And I chose GoFundMe as well, and one thing, if someone else is choosing to do a crowdfunding, there's a bunch of them popping up, but one difference with Kickstarter is that it's all for nothing. Yeah. You know, so you either make your target or you get none of the money. The great thing, like, you know, especially with your project, you get to keep whatever people donate. So like Angela's, her situation, she's had a product for a year. You know, if you've done that on Kickstarter and you didn't make your goal, all that money would have been gone.
Yeah, that money helped me pay rent a couple times. So
yeah, exactly.
It was very nice to be able to just cash it in whenever I wanted.
Exactly. So I had a question. So since your project is taking longer, did you have like a minimum you needed so you can get started?
I just jumped head in.
Okay.
I was like, screw this, I'm tired of waiting, I want to get this done. So I booked the studio before I even launched the campaign.
Wow, really?
Just sometimes you need a fire under your ass to get things done,
Yeah,
and that's what I did. So I booked a studio up north of Montreal. It's in the middle of nowhere, no internet access, you can barely get a cell phone signal.
Wow.
And I got a bunch of amazing musicians together, and I paid them to do studio work, and we knocked it out.
Okay, cool.
But then the post recording took a while. I'm very picky about my own stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And now since I'm the only voice of artistic direction, whereas before it'd always been bands.
Yeah.
So I just, oh my god, wait, so much editing, just so much editing.
Yeah. It's a big project.
Like that drum beat isn't like perfectly on time. I gotta fix it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think as creators, we're our own worst critics. You know,
Right.
we hold ourselves to like the biggest standards ever, which is great. It pushes us forward, but it can also be painful.
Like I'm sure
to
you
make
have
something.
photos that people see and they think it's the most amazing thing ever, and you're like, yeah, well, thanks, but you know, I would have done it better.
Exactly.
Like,
I was like,
you can
well,
always
there's
critique.
actually this thing in there, and you know, you always hate our own work, but I think that's good because it forces us to keep growing and evolving.
Right.
So now that you're almost to your goal, can you tell us a bit about the project? Like, what is the CD based on? How many songs are going to be on there?
There's 10 songs.
Okay.
I was originally going to do 15 because I have years of material. But in the market now, it's not really worth doing that big of an LP anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Most bands are just doing 5 to 6 songs. There's a lot of online stuff just releasing singles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the return on big albums now isn't the same as it was
Right.
10, 15, 20 years ago. So
Yeah.
went with 10. Solid 10 songs are good. I forget what the rest of the question you asked me. This is what happens when you do an interview at noon when I'm all jet lagged from Montreal time.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, I reached out to Angela on her crowdfunding to see if she'd be willing to come on the show for an interview, and then she was like, "Hey, I'm going to be in Paris next week. Why don't we do it in person?" I was like, "Well, perfect."
It was kismet. It was meant to be.
Exactly, and this is her next to last day here in Paris, where we had time to get together and talk about her project. So, you know, she's tired. She's been working at the Paris Comic Con, the first one here in Paris. So,
Paris
she's
Con
been
hashtag, woo.
she's been really busy. And it is early, especially noon for an artist. Like, geez.
Yeah, and I'm 6 hours back still, so basically it's 6 in the morning. But hey, look at how great and fresh I look.
Exactly. So is there like a theme to the album, or what's going on with it?
Well, I'm a cancer survivor, and
Okay,
most
wow.
of the songs I wrote after my treatment, so it's most about like not being afraid, but like triumphing, getting over stuff, rising. Well, the album title is called Rise Above,
Okay.
so
Pretty
it's
cool.
just like carrying on, getting stuff done, staying positive.
Mhm.
There's some dark stuff, but it always ends on like a positive, you can do this, keep going kind of note. So.
Okay, wow. So when you say that you've been working on this for 5 years, is that since how long you've been in remission, or?
When was the last? I think it was 2009 or 2010 was my last treatment. I don't remember. I try to put that in the past. I'm like, it's done with, the cancer's done, just move forward.
Yeah. That's great. So now that, like I said before, you're almost to your goal for this project. So what do you have left to finish?
There's mastering still to do, then printing. I'm working on the album art right now with a really amazing graphic artist who's also a really amazing bass player who used to play bass in the Kingpins, which was like a ska band from the 90s in Montreal. It's awesome. And it's quite amazing that the scene in Montreal, I do a lot of gigs around the city, but not huge things.
Mm-hmm.
So after 5 years of not releasing any new material, I assumed that most of the locals would be like, has been. But they've all come together. The Montreal Ska Festival is like doing my album launch, and all these people just coming out of the woodwork last minute, just trying to give me the final push. So
wow, amazing.
I've had a couple times where I'm just sitting in front of my computer and I just like start crying. I'm like, I am blessed to know that I might cry right now. I'm just so tired, I might cry right now. No, I'm good.
No, but it's emotional when you work so long to complete a project, and it sounds like this project has had a lot of, pitfalls
It's been tumultuous.
and heartbreaking moments when you've had to literally just start over. So, when you're kind of getting to that end goal, it can be really emotional. Like, it's like, this is about to really happen.
The day I was leaving for Paris is the day I got the official date on the venue I want for my launch. So
wow, that's exciting.
I was like, everything is happening! Woo! I was very excited.
So what have you been doing to promote it? Because you said when you first launched the crowdfunding, you had like a really great just initial donation. But after that, how did you kind of keep getting donations?
Well, as you were saying before, a lot of musicians and artists are hermits, so I hate posting stuff on my Facebook about my professional life, like music. I'm also a photographer, so I feel like a total douchebag if I post my business stuff, because I feel like I'm soliciting my friends.
I know what you mean.
But I was like, you know what? I did a lot of research online, and how people raise money is they constantly bombard their social media with links, with updates, how things are going. Because just because I don't think people want to know about what's happening doesn't mean they don't.
Right.
And they do. Like whenever I post a really big milestone in the album progress, hundreds of comments, hundreds of likes, and then people will be like, oh yeah, I forgot, I wanted to donate to that, so then they'll go to my page.
Exactly, yeah, I've been finding that too. People just forget to donate, and I guess, you can understand that. You get busy, you see a link, then you forget about the link, and you have to be at your computer to do it, so, you just want to remind people. But it's funny, because, as creatives, we do have a tendency to think, we're on our own doing this, and that's part of the reason I started the Artist 2.0 podcast, is to kind of build a community, to let people know that you're not alone. There are people out there. But I think, especially when you reach out to your own community, you start to realize that there are definitely people rooting for you.
Yeah.
They may not be as loud or as outspoken as you may want them or even need them to be, but there's definitely people out there who want to see you succeed, even at least living vicariously through you,
That happens a lot.
Exactly.
People working behind desks that are your friends, and they're like, I can't do this, I don't have this talent, but I really want to support my friend in the fact that they have it. So
yeah, exactly. People, always want to root for underdog.
I'm an underdog. Yeah.
So that's really great.
And remember, people's like their news feeds, they update so fast. So if you post something in the morning, 90% of your friends won't see it. So just take a breath and just keep reposting, and then eventually you'll see an influx.
Yeah.
Like, I've just made $200. Woo!
Exactly.
I can buy groceries.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to spam everyone you know. Because essentially that's going to be the first people who get your crowdfunding started.
And also, just because you don't it's like I don't really like social media, but I'm the 1% basically. Everyone's online right now, especially the younger generation. That's where they get all their information.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it takes now to have a successful fundraising campaign, is just be all over the interwebs.
Yeah, and I think there's a fine line, because I don't like to consume social media, but I know I needed to market. You know,
Yeah.
so it's different. Like, you don't have to consume it. I'm never on Facebook. I don't even have the Facebook app on my phone anymore. But, you know, I, schedule my posts and things like that. Like, it's a marketing tool that artists we need today. So, you can make the distinction, because I think you can waste all day, just looking at people's feeds and,
Which I'm
digging
sure
around.
most people do at work,
Exactly. I think I read an article saying, like, the average person wastes 2 hours on Facebook a day.
That's ridiculous.
Exactly. Like, I don't got that much time. But if someone else does, hey, good for them.
Because I guess
Yeah, because if I were working, well, when I was working in an office, yeah, I'd be on Facebook like day and night. Like, as soon as I sat at my desk, till I left, there's nothing else to do.
yeah, I hate what I do as a job. Distract me with other people's problems.
Exactly. So, you can use it without kind of being engulfed in it. So how often would you repost and things like that? Do you do it every single day?
I
For
have the
years?
GoFundMe has an option where it'll automatically post to it'll send an email to all the contacts that you decide to add, your Facebook and your Twitter account. So
Yeah.
every 24 hours it does it automatically
Oh, perfect.
without a personalized status update. But like once every couple days I'll be like, hey, the editing's finally done. I'm super excited, and then I'll just post that because I am. When I post something, I'm actually quite excited.
So how are you keeping connected with the people who donate? Because I actually found this a real humbling experience too. Like, to really be grateful to everyone. Even if it's a penny or a dollar, that person didn't have to give you anything. So, I find like a real sense of gratitude and even wanting to accomplish this more, because you have so many people really putting their money where their mouth is, trying to support something.
Like you can't fail now. Everyone's
Exactly,
supporting you.
like
No pressure.
exactly. So what do you do to kind of stay connected to them and just let them know that you are working and you're using the money for what you said you're going to use it for and things like that?
Well, when somebody donates initially, I'll send them an actual personal email back saying thank you and I really appreciate it, because like you said, every dollar does help.
Yep.
Especially if you have a very broad social media connection, like if you have 1,000 friends, $1 per friend, you got $1,000 right there. And just because it's a smaller donation doesn't mean I'm not grateful at all. So I really try to connect with every single person that donates. They get personalized status updates as well. So that's basically what I do.
So what do you mean personal? Like you'll send them an individual email, like, hey, thanks, just to keep you up to date, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And as of next week when I get back to Montreal, I'm going to start doing little video updates every week or two.
Okay, cool. Well, now that you're getting to the end and
Yeah.
more things are happening, you have a little bit more.
And I've also found that people are more likely to donate and even read the posts when there's a face. So get your face out there.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've been struggling with. Like, some people have videos explaining what their project is about and some people don't, and everyone always says like having a video is better and things like that. I haven't put together a video for my project. I don't think I remember you had a video on your GoFundMe page,
No,
but
I had a link
on your
to,
personal site you did have something.
I have a couple music videos.
Yeah.
Originally I had posted, I got interviewed by some TV station in Montreal a year ago, and they filmed a nice acoustic version of me doing a live song. So I was like, that's the best quality video I got, so I'm just going to use this for now. And there was a plan to make an actual crowdfunding video, but as a self-employed artist, you got to do a lot to pay the bills, so it never happened.
Yeah, and those videos, and you see they always look so professionally done, and it's like, I can never make that video on my own, dude.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
You're the person your friends call to do videos and photography. Who do us photographers call when we need help?
Exactly, and it's different too, because I don't know, sometimes I think we can be too close to our projects to really be able to speak on the behalf of it.
That's true.
Eloquently, like you see, all these videos, like you just know they have some copywriter who just,
Right. I don't know anyone's gonna write me a speech.
Exactly.
I'm like, hey, how's it going? Send me money, please. I'm really broke. I want to do my album. Done.
Exactly.
Thin.
It's really hard. Maybe through this series we'll figure out some best practices for people who do have videos for personal projects. I haven't figured out the formula for that yet, but hopefully we can discover it together.
And it's hard to decide what direction you're gonna take too when you're having when you have a social media or crowdfunding. Because a lot of the successful ones, like you said, they're professionally made videos. It looks like they've been rehearsing their speeches and what they're saying for months.
Yeah.
And I'm not that person.
Yeah,
So
me
for
either.
me to do that, I think I would come off very fake and insincere. And then like my fans know that's not me. Like when I'm on stage, I will actually joke around with the audience. There's 2,000 people in the audience, and I'll tell dirty jokes and just be a total idiot. But that's what people think of. Well, I hope they don't think I'm a total idiot, but more of a clown or jester character.
Yeah.
So like, I wanted to, yes, get a lot of response and a lot of viewership, but I also didn't want to deviate too far from who I am, in just to get that extra, 5,000 hits or whatever.
Yeah.
And I hate the man and selling out, so I'm like, okay. That was another problem. I'm like, am I selling out? Am I trying to get, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of internal arguments that happen when you ask for external help. But I just had something I wanted to mention, because you said something about the videos, and a lot of times you see the videos, they look so clean. I was like, how do they even have the budget to do the video? Before they did the crowdfunding.
Right?
It's like, dude, that could have just gone to the project. Like I don't get it, but I don't know. Hopefully we can figure that out. So what is happening in the next couple of months with the project? Because you mentioned that you're gonna go back. You already have like the venue and the artist who's doing the graphic for the CD cover and stuff like that. So what's the timeline left? When is the launch?
February is the launch.
Wow.
And
It's
I
right
booked
around the
it
corner.
like a couple days before my birthday, so like, oh yeah, you don't want to come to my album launch? Well, come to my birthday party. You have no excuse at this point.
Exactly.
And I got another local band in Montreal to open, where a lot of people are like, oh, get a band from out of town, it'll bring in a new crowd. And I was like, no, this is the community that supported me.
Yeah.
I've been in the like, I don't play ska music, but for some reason they just embraced me, the ska scene in Montreal.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I've played the ska fest, they love me, it's great. And I was like, you know what, they've given me the most support. Most of my donations have been from locals. So I'm like, yeah.
That's cool. Well, I want to start wrapping up the interview, but before we do, I want to let everyone know, one, where they can find out about more of you and your music, where are you on social media, and also where they can go to donate and help Angela cross the finish line
Very close.
on her project. So let everyone know where they can find you.
Cool. My Facebook page is angelasolo. It's pretty simple. Instagram, angelasolo MTL. That stands for Montreal, for those of you who know. The crowdfunding page is gofundme.com/angelasolo. There's YouTube. People seem to upload lots of videos of me that I never know about until I do that thing that everybody does and just search their own name on Google.
Yeah. And just hope something comes up.
You're like, oh, gratify my ego, please. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, you can check out my stuff there. I've got, my album launch is coming up. I also do, I'm in a soul band.
Oh, cool.
I love Montreal Soul Band. I'm in a circus sideshow as
Wow.
well. So at the launch, I'm getting some of the circus sideshow community. They're going to perform.
That should be a lot of fun.
I've got a snake charmer. I've got a tattoo artist who's going to be tattooing there. I'm trying to make it a big event.
Yeah.
People don't have a lot of money anymore to spend on like entertainment. So okay, you pay like $20. You come in, you have a whole night of 100 things to do.
That'll be a fun night.
Yeah.
So I will put links to everywhere you can find Angela in the show notes, so you guys can reach out to her. And please, let's try to make this project, let's get it over the finish line. So donate, like we said before, even if it's just $1, €1, a peso, whatever you got, it's definitely gonna help. Cross the finish line.
I will take anything and be very grateful for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the last question I like to end my interviews and ask all the guests is 2 questions. But for one, I just want to thank you for taking the time to meet up with me here in Paris and
My
to
pleasure.
be on the show and talk about your project. And hopefully, you've helped other artists who are thinking of pursuing the same, start their own crowdfunding project.
Yeah, and if any of you guys see this and you have more specific questions, you can shoot me a message on my Facebook page or anything like that. If I got time, I'd be happy to answer you, because it's a daunting and intimidating project to start. So I'll help you out, guys.
It's the community. We are out there for you guys.
Yeah.
You're not alone. Reach out.
That almost made me start singing Supremes right there. No, that's not Supremes. I'll be there. Who sings that
I
one?
don't even know.
I'm sorry.
But so the first question I want to ask before we wrap up the show is, what do you expect out of life?
I just want to be happy and make those I care about happy, basically. I'm alive, I can walk, I can breathe. It's pretty good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And what do you think life expects from you?
I don't know. To give back as much as I take, you know, to be as nice a person as you can be and be true to yourself. I don't know. I'm kind of a hippie in a little ways, you know, like I'm just try to be the best person I can be and try to, you know, reciprocate whatever my friends, my family, my fans, the universe gives me.
Awesome.
I'm not always eloquent. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you know, it's not even about being eloquent, you know, just about being who you are. And, you know, one of the things about this podcast, I just want people to come on and be real, because that's what being an artist is all about, your authentic self. So even if it's not primed and polished and perfect, you know, it's real, it's who you are.
Which is great. You should go back and watch our other videos. They're all awesome and everyone's really nice and there's a lot of information. So check out the other ones.
Thank you. Definitely, I'll agree with that. Go back and check out the other podcast episodes. And stay tuned for some other ones. I have more in this series, some other artists who are also doing some crowdfunding projects, and I can't wait to bring to you guys. So as always, you can find us on the website www.artist20.com and on our YouTube page, which is where you're probably watching this right now. And you'll find other links to our social media in the show notes as well. So this wraps up this episode of the Artist 2.0 podcast. Thanks again to Angelasolo for being on.
My pleasure.
And until next time, be excellent.
Bye, guys.
Bye.